Ever since he came into our lives, he became one of the family. But now he's gone. With Fond Recollections memorial plaques and website, we can upload all our photos and videos of him. Visit fondrecollection.com today and cherish the happy memories of your loved ones.
Chapter 12. Moving on. Nicole Snipes was numb as she tossed her stuff in the back of her bright red Porsche 911. She was furious, hurt, and confused at the same time. She looked back wistfully, glancing at her former office window for a while. She could clearly see Eric Rivera and Ruben Rhodes in her office. Gutter rats, the pair of them, she thought angrily. Nicole could see their self-satisfied smirks as they reveled in her downfall. She was not a woman that would take that kind of humiliation lying down. As she drove away in out-of-hospital view, she immediately dialed Scotty Allen, the ICU director's number on her cell phone. She needed to talk about what went down ASAP and inform him about what had just been done to her. The phone rang for a while before Scotty picked it up.
Scotty, I was just forced to resign as CEO of St. Mark's Baptist Hospital.
Nicole informed him in her typical flat demeanor. Her voice gave no indication of the emotional turmoil that she was facing now. Scotty was startled to hear the news.
No fucking way,
he said to Nicole.
Why though?
He asked curiously.
You did not do anything wrong. Damn. Plus, the nurse, India, admitted to sleeping on the job. It was her negligence that caused the patient's death. How can they pin this on you?
He said, puzzled. Nicole sighed.
I know,
she said.
However, as CEO, the ultimate responsibility of the hospital lied with me. This time they made me the scapegoat.
She said, wryly.
Every single member on the board of directors voted to kick me out. They were so confident in their decision. Did not seem bothered at all.
She said, venomously.
They all saw me as a disposable part of the company. I'm done. They offered me a severance pay as if they were going to do me a huge favor.
She laughed sarcastically.
Anyway,
Nicole said, taking a deep breath to rein in her emotions.
I was only calling to warn you that you better watch your back. They'd probably target you next.
She added conspiratorially. This shocked Scotty.
Me? But why? What's going on? What made you say that?
He asked, worried.
Well,
Nicole shrugged.
It's clear to me now that my executive team wanted me out of the picture. The board named Eric Rivera as the new CEO of the hospital. Now, naturally, the COO position should be offered to you. However, you need to know, if you did not know already, that Eric is intimidated by your presence at the hospital.
Nicole had long observed Eric's behavior and how he was both jealous and wary of Scotty Allen. She had previously kept her mouth shut to keep the peace, but she saw no reason to bother with that anymore.
Intimidated by me?
Scotty sounded even more surprised.
I've always been really nice to him, though.
He said, confused.
Yes,
said Nicole.
However, Eric knows that he cannot hold a candle to you. You are more educated than he is, and you have far more experience. You are clearly popular with our patients and staff. Also, you might not know this, but I personally selected you to be the ICU director against Eric's direct recommendation for another candidate.
Nicole confessed. Scotty was feeling bewildered. Nicole was dropping bombs on him, and he had no clue any of this had gone down.
In fact, Eric's exact response when I hired you was, "Wow, that guy?"
And then added,
"Will the staff really listen to a black guy as their director?"
Nicole scoffed.
So, not only is he intimidated by me, but he's also a racist.
Scotty said, realization dawning on his face.
Exactly,
said Nicole.
Listen to a black guy?
Scotty quoted bitterly.
Wow, just wow,
he said, amazed.
I had no idea that he felt that way about me working here in a leadership position. He sure had me fooled. He always praised me, complimented me, and pretended we were friends. That's just how fake his ass is.
Scotty was angry now.
Well, that's why I called to warn you,
Nicole replied.
Thanks for the warning, Nicole,
Scotty said humbly, touched by her consideration for him. This was an unusually compassionate side of Nicole Snipes that people were not used to seeing.
Please call me when you get settled. Boy, It's sure gonna be crazy at the hospital for a while now.
Scotty said, letting out a low whistle.
Not an issue, Scotty.
Nicole said.
Take care.
She added and hung up the phone. The car was suddenly filled with a deafening silence. Nicole could not bear it, so she turned on the radio. It was tuned to the oldies channel where the best of the 80s was playing. Nicole raised the volume and let the music blend in with the sounds of traffic around her. It sure beat the silence she felt all around her. She had had her life all planned out since high school. She was the sort of person that always has a 5-year plan and a contingency plan in place. Working at St. Mark's Baptist Hospital for so long and working her way up so successfully had lulled Nicole into a false sense of security. For the first time in her life, Nicole Snipes did not have a plan. She started to contemplate what she wanted to do next. How to start the next chapter in her life. Although she was in her early 50s, it was not too late for her to start over. At the hospital, Scotty was doing some contemplation of his own. Nicole was right. He needed to watch out for himself. There were wicked forces at play here, forces working against him, motivated by racism and jealousy. They had managed to get rid of Nicole Snipes, a very competent woman, who despite her harsh demeanor, had done whatever the job required of her. She had stuck her neck out for Scotty, and he appreciated it. Things needed to change. Both Nicole and Scotty were keenly aware of that fact. While Nicole was deliberating on how to move on, Scotty decided to plan his next moves. He needed to keep his eyes open and be more aware of what's going on in his surroundings. Otherwise, the rats would come after him next, if they were not already. He was not going to let them catch him unaware as Nicole did. He would do things differently. When they came for him, he would be ready. A week passed by. The hospital's doctor's lunchroom was bustling with staff. Unlike the main cafeteria, which served basic fare, the doctor's cafeteria always served exquisite food. The menus were elaborate, and there were always a ton of options from which to choose. Doctors looked forward to their lunch and dinner breaks. You could see people enjoying steaming plates of lasagna, salmon, and even sushi at specific tables around the room. News about Nicole's firing had spread like wildfire through the hospital. Every table at the cafeteria was gossiping about the same topic. The lead conspirator and the person responsible for the news passing down so rapidly through the hospital grapevine was Johnny Thomas. Johnny Thomas was the hospital's cook, who worked in the doctor's cafeteria. He was responsible for feeding all the doctors at the hospital. He was known as the Bobby Flay of St. Mark's Baptist Hospital. He was the mind and talent behind all the elaborate menus and exquisite food. He took pride in his work, which is why the doctor's cafeteria and lounges always had the best food available. Johnny was responsible for running both kitchens, which gave him access to all the hospital gossip. A tall, white male, Johnny towered over everyone else as a solid 6'3". He was flamboyantly gay and wore his hair in a man bun, which he chose to cover with a chef's hat instead of a typical hairnet. It looked far classier than a hairnet, which he thought made him look like a run-of-the-mill lunch staff. Nobody knew that he was in a secret relationship with the newly promoted COO of the hospital, Ruben Rose. Ruben was appointed COO thanks to the direct recommendation of the new CEO, Eric Rivera. Many people were surprised that Scotty Allen didn't get the job. The people who knew Eric Rivera were not surprised at all. Johnny Thomas had just left the operation department's doctor's lounge. While he was there, he had overheard some juicy information about Scotty Allen. He sauntered over to his work girlfriends, excited to spill the tea and tell them everything that he just heard while he was eavesdropping.
Ooh, bitches, get over here. I got some major tea,
he said excitedly.
Well, more than just a cup. I got an entire gallon of Lipton here to spill, girl. You would not believe what the doctors are saying about Scotty Allen,
he said, his eyes twinkling. The women on the kitchen staff gathered around him, eager to hear the latest gossip.
You know Scotty Allen, right? He is the black guy, the ICU director. Girl, they are saying that the hospital never even had any intensive care unit incidents until he arrived. Some of them even said that they expressed concerns about his leadership when the babies died in the NICU. Messy, messy, messy,
he said, chuckling.
Johnny, you're the one that's messy,
said Anne-Marie, a kitchen server.
How can anyone say Scotty is responsible for those poor babies dying? That man was at home when that incident happened,
she said, chidingly.
Yeah, cut that shit out, Johnny,
said Christy, another server, a brown-haired person with a high-pitched voice.
We already lost our CEO over stupid shit that was not her fault in the first place. Now you coming here talking all kinds of crazy? Hell, everyone knows they do not like him because he's black. Y'all know how that goes.
She says, looking around the room, daring anyone to challenge her. Johnny rolled his eyes.
Here we go again, always playing the race card. Maybe 'cause he's black.
He says, mocking Christy's voice sarcastically.
You always use that one when one of us starts fucking up. Girl, bye. Maybe if he stopped trying to fuck all the nurses at the hospital, he could focus more on his damn department.
Johnny said, wagging his finger in Christy's face. Just before Christy could respond to his ridiculous claims, and she intended to rip him a new one when she did, the group was interrupted by the mailroom volunteer. She came and handed Johnny a package slip so he could sign for some items he ordered for his kitchens. The girls were grateful for the interruption. It gave them time to think and process the information. Scotty and Nicole were off doing some thinking of their own. A domino effect had been triggered, and the first few dominoes had already started to tumble. Only God knew how many had to fall before it all came crashing down.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you had fun or picked up anything from this episode, please assist us by hitting the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. You can also comment and share our content. These small things really help our channel and mean a lot to us. Also, special thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the heartbeat of this channel, and we can't thank you enough for being so generous. If you would like to join our Patreon community, please click on the link below. You can contribute as little as $5 per month. You can get all kinds of perks. You can even buy merchandise of your favorite characters at our shop store. Click on the link provided below. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, remember you are cherished by us. So be kind and know that we consider you as family.